Hello, folks. It's Patrick Gorman.
Hi, this is Jake Busey.
Hi, this is Bruce Boxleitner.
This is Tom Vera from A Gettysburg Christmas.
Hi, this is Bo Brinkman.
And you're listening to
Addressing Gettysburg.
I'm glad you're listening. Thank you.
I expected you to say something like that.
Did you say
Good night, everybody.
bonfire?
You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg Today.
I love this podcast.
Oh, exactly.
I give him all the credit in the world. I'm not sure I believe you. Otterburn. Put that on a t-shirt. Holy hell. I think I ordered that at the Hofbräu House last week.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Addressing Gettysburg Today. And it is today until tomorrow starts. And then it'll be a whole new day. A whole new day. But today we've got a very special person filling in for Ronnie Ronstadt. Of course, you know, tonight, I'm sure a lot of you know that Jim Hessler is giving a talk at the Adams County Historical Society. Gettysburg to Little Bighorn. Custer, Gettysburg to Little Bighorn. All of us in the room here are going to go to that because we love Custer, we love Hessler, and we love the Adams County Historical Society. So we're going to go there. It's, I believe, I could be wrong on this. It might be the inaugural event of the Gettysburg Roundtable because they've moved their location there. Casey Turbin has joined us here today. Case, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. Good to feel like I haven't seen you in 12 to 16 hours. You know?
Exactly.
Almost a whole day.
Almost a whole day. Actually, more closer to like 24 hours. I haven't seen you in 24 hours. Yeah.
It's about this time.
Mike Lentz just walked in, and our friend Beth is here, and another Beth is filling in for Veronica. That's where I started. And Bethany Yingling is here. First time sitting in the co-host chair on AG Today.
This is a completely different experience than That's What She Said.
It is a lot. Is it more nerve-wracking for you?
Well, I see myself.
Yeah. You want me to turn that away so you don't see yourself?
I mean, I'm afraid I'm going to start going like...
Well, I'll just cover up your...
Yeah, can you put a Post-it on
Yeah, I'll put a
there or
Post-it
something?
over your face so
That'd
you don't
be
worry
great.
about that. You look fine, Beth. You look
Thanks.
fine. Focus on me. Focus on me, okay? All right. So you are the co-host with Veronica on That's What She Said.
Indeed.
Our first spin-off show. And so far, it's going really well. You guys are really good. I keep telling Veronica, I tell you this after the shows, but you guys are really good.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
enjoy
like
it.
naturals. You're naturals at it.
Well, we're both talkers.
Yes,
That
you
doesn't-
are. That it helps to be a talker on a talk show.
It does.
Yeah. And so, how many have we done so far?
We've done 4.
4.
We've actually recorded.
Yeah, so we're trying to get up to maybe 6 before we start bleeding them out. But, you know, with everybody's schedule being as busy as it is, we might... I always advise people, if you're going to do one show a month for a year, record 12 episodes before you release one. And it's because life gets in the way.
Oh, it certainly has.
And I said, maybe we'll do 6, I don't know. And then I think you guys heard that and you thought that would be 6. And I was like, no, I said, maybe. I choose my words carefully.
You have to be very specific with us.
I said, maybe. But anyway, yeah, that's the idea. So
Yeah.
anyway, but it's going very well. You guys are doing a great job.
I've learned a lot.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly amazed at how crazy these women are. Like, just amazing women. And, like, you hear such a small snippet of their lives whenever you read a history book. And then you have the speaker come in and do their from birth to death. And it's like, oh, my gosh. There's so much more of a badass than I realized.
Well, yeah, it was a tough life. Forget about the battle. Just life back then was just tougher. And then now you have this battle you got to deal with. And
Yeah, I would have been
everything.
dead.
Oh, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Oh, yeah. I would have died very early on.
I think that's why some of us are so fascinated with it, because we can't imagine it. And I mean, speaking for myself, I don't want to ever see what that's really like.
No.
But I'd like to imagine it, you know, just to get an idea. And so you learn about these people and you learn their stories and you try to put yourself in their shoes.
I worked on a farm for one day with my best friend,
Yeah.
and I almost died. I was waiting for a cow to kill me.
Well, tell us about it. Tell the story. What happened?
Well, first of all, she neglected to tell me that they only ate 2 meals. They had breakfast, and then they had the world's biggest lunch, and
No
then
dinner.
no supper.
Really?
And she didn't say that to me.
So you ate a
by
small
the time
meal.
4 o'clock came by, I was about ready to gnaw my own arm off. And then she's like, hey, just go up there in the hay mound there and throw some hay down for the calves. And neglected to tell me that I had to climb up the side of the barn to get to it. That the floor was an already existing layer of hay bales. So if you fall down in there, you're gone. You're gone.
The floor was.
Like you're walking on hay bales.
Yeah.
And they're not solid.
Right.
So I almost was up. I could still be up there.
Don't you hate that, though, when you go and do something that's new to you, but not new to the people you're doing it with or for, and they just say, go over there and grab the flim flam and put it on the fling dong, and then you're like, what the hell's the flim flam? And then they go, oh, well, fine, I'll do it. It's like, well, how the hell do I know that? I've never worked on a farm before. How do I know that I have to climb up the side of a barn?
Yeah, like close the gate when you leave the pen.
Well, that's common sense.
No,
Yeah,
I
but
totally
you
forgot.
have dogs, don't you?
No.
Well, that's funny. Well, my friend and I went out to Wyoming 22 years ago. And this was like a place in the middle of nowhere. I mean, literally in the middle of nowhere. We had to take when they picked us up at the airport, we went maybe, I don't know, 4 at most miles out of Casper. And then I thought the woman was like, that picked us up was going nuts because she just like turned off into what I thought was the Great Plains. But apparently there was a road there, which there was. It was a dirt road. And then for the next 60 miles, we're bouncing around on this dirt road. We're passing one-room schoolhouses. And I was like, oh, that's cool. They still keep the schoolhouse there? She goes, yeah, the ranchers' kids go to the school.
They use it.
Yeah, it's been there since the 1880s, but people use it still. And I was
Next
like,
year we're
wow.
going to get technology.
Yeah, right. Next year we get electricity.
Yeah.
And then we got out there. Anyway, so what they did was, the ranch we were on was 65,000 acres, okay? 7 miles, it's unfathomable because all their neighbors had just as much, if not more. And so 7 miles from the main headquarters of the ranch was this hunter's cabin, they called it, where, you go out there, you rent the cabin. It had, an outhouse, no running water. So it was like, big not jugs, but tanks of water that you would use. And then one was for dishwashing, one was for drinking.
Did they have toilet paper?
Oh, they had toilet paper. Yeah.
Okay, then
of
I
course.
could have survived.
And they had a solar heated shower, which was a 55-gallon drum painted black, hoisted up on this stall that they made with a flimsy shower curtain. Okay, we're outside. It's a curtain. And it's 3 plywood walls and then the shower curtain, which of course is facing the wind. And so we get there and I can't wait to get a shower because I hadn't taken a shower that morning. I'd been on a plane with all these gross people and I wanted to shower that off of me. So I go out there. Now it's June. It's middle of June, okay?
Yeah.
Cold shower?
It was freezing.
Yeah.
Because it had snowed the whole week before. Okay. In June. We're 6,000 feet above sea level. They had it wasn't summer yet. Summer doesn't come but for like a week in August and then it's winter again. So I go in there and think, oh, solar heated. It's been sitting out here. They told us no one's been here for a week. It was freezing cold, and I'm out there, and I pull the nozzle, and it hits me, and I'm like, "Rah!" And my friend comes running out of the cabin. He's like, "What's wrong?" He thought it was like a rattlesnake or something. I'm like, "This effing cold shower, blah 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 blah." But I'm wet. I'm committed. And so I lather up and I scream all the way through it. And the wind is like 25 miles an hour blowing right into the curtain, which is going right up my ass. And I'm like, I'm never doing this again. So I did not shower for the next 3 days. Okay.
This is like one of those, I walked uphill both ways and 6 feet of snow.
Yeah, except I lived in a time where we didn't need to do what we did. Yeah, this was like, we were just like, pretending, and then it was a little too real. Anyway, I didn't take a shower for the next 3 days, right?
So you smelled amazing.
Horrible. and also I didn't bring winter clothes because I thought it was summer. So I had t-shirts and a pair of jeans and changes of underwear and socks, right? So I wore all of my t-shirts at once because I didn't have a jacket, and every day I would just rotate which one goes on top, right? And and then I changed my underwear and my socks. And so luckily,
I like how we added that in, guys.
I just wanted everybody to know
Clean
my underwear was clean.
The underwear is clean.
Nothing around it was, but so then we were like, so the reason I started telling the story was because the first day we get there, there's a little corral that they have right off the side of the cabin, and they brought the horses out, and my friend went out to, I don't know what the hell he went out to do, but he comes back in, and then I go looking out the window, and I see his horse wandering off a half a mile in front of us. And I was like, dude, what happened to the horse? And he's like, what do you mean? And I go, he's out he's all the way out there. So I got to go get my horse and go out and like I'm one of the guys on Yellowstone. Like I'm going to go out there like with a lasso and wrangle the horse, right? So I go out, I get my horse, I saddle him up, I go out to the horse, and all this other horse is doing is grazing, right? So I bring the bridle out, I go out and grab the horse, and it was fine. It was no big deal. We got it. But anyway, it was really a good experience overall. But I got to tell you, when we had a guide one day, we brought enough money. We're college kids, so we only brought enough money to get a guide one day. But he was our age, and we had fun with him. And we're like, man, I wish we could get you another day, but we didn't bring another $100, And he's like, all right. Well, unbeknownst to us, he went back to the owners of the ranch, and he was like, these guys, really had fun with me. They'd like to get me another day. So the owners drove out one evening to our cabin, and they said, Mike tells us that you want to get him another day, but you didn't bring enough money. How about this? Tomorrow morning, he'll ride out. You get on your horses, ride back to the ranch. We're bringing a herd in, and we're going to inoculate them, and you can help us do that. And I was like, great. Because the reason we went to this place in the first place was because we wanted to do the cattle drive, but it was $1,400 a person, and we were college kids, right?
I think this is a bad idea.
I loved it. So we get up in the morning, and it's easy to get up at the crack of dawn because
you're cold
and freezing and tired, and it's thin air. And so you go to bed with the sun, and you wake up with the sun, right? It was actually really great. So we get up, we saddle our horses. Mike comes out and meets us. We go ride the 7 miles in, get there, and the herd is coming in as we're arriving. So he's like, oh, well, let's go and help them with the herd. And we're like, yes, we get to do that. So we help them with the herd, and we get them in. And so what you got to do is you got to get them going from a group of them into this like holding pen where it's like 8 of them or whatever. And then you got to try to get one of them into an alley, a little alley where it's a one at a time, but they're like nose to butt. And then when the one who's going to get inoculated gets up to the gate, they put a bar in front of him, right? And he can't get out, and they give him all the inoculation. So Pete's job was
I need to meet Pete.
Yes,
That's all
you
I
do.
gotta
You
say.
do. Pete's job was to slide the bar, right? Now, these animals are big animals, and they're now confined.
Not very smart.
They're not very smart, and they're confined to this alleyway, which is barely wider than they are, right? They're
That's
in there
where
tight.
Cattle shoot.
Yes, a cattle shoot. That's and they're scared. They're literally scared shitless.
Yes.
And that shit, because the bar, you put a bar in front, a bar in back. Well, that shit is
on
the back bar. And Pete's got no gloves on, and he's got to pull this thing out, and I have a picture of him holding up his hands. It is covered in cow poop, right? So now my job was to be in that holding pen and get them into the chute. When they give you a broom, they're like, here, just tap them on the butt with the broom and everything. I'm like, all right, that's no problem. I'm not afraid
and
of
you're
big.
like,
No.
you
I'm
really,
like,
hit them?
Oh yeah, no, I've been around these big beasts my whole life, so I know you gotta, they
really
don't feel
actually
our
do it,
tap.
yeah.
If I tapped you on the arm, you'd be like, what? And I tap them, they think it's a fly,
Yeah.
So, so I gotta hit it with this broom. So I got all the first 7 in, no problem. The 8th one, she doesn't want to go, so she turns around. And I'm like, get in there. And she just stands there. And then the little bitch charges me. and pushes me into the fence, but I see it coming, so like I kind of jumped up, and very luckily the heel of my boot caught the bottom rail of the fence, so I was able to just get up there and perch myself, and then as soon as she saw me, get up there, she just turned around and just waltzed right in with no problem.
Yeah,
she's
like,
basically saying, "Don't tell me what to do." Yeah. Right, exactly. But that was a lot of fun.
She could have snapped. She would have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I recommend
wasn't that dramatic.
Stepping out of your comfort zone. What?
That mine wasn't that dramatic. I mean, I make it sound dramatic, but it was not nearly that
Right.
dramatic.
What was your story? I've totally lost track of the conversation.
I love you too. So I
See,
worked
it's
on
not
my
just you,
friend's
Veronica.
farm for a day.
What?
I worked on my friend's farm for a day.
Right. Oh, that's
I
right.
almost
Okay.
died.
And you had to climb up the side of the barn.
I had to climb
now
up the
you
side of the
climb up
barn.
the side of the barn. How does that go for you?
Badly.
Yeah.
I later found out there was a light switch. Which I did not know existed.
So you're
I
up there
just
in the
was
loft in the dark.
praying.
Great. Yeah.
Very loudly.
Uh-huh.
A couple Our Fathers up there. And hoping that I was going to survive. And then she said, when you come down, we're going to feed the silage to the cows. So this big shovel. Now, Matt, I couldn't even get the shovel into the silage far enough to get a shovel full of it to put where the cows were. So I was zero help.
Right.
Yeah. To which her dad, God bless his soul, he has passed on since then, but her dad made fun of me till the day he died.
Really?
About. Like, literally, I saw him the week before he passed, and the last thing he said to me was, Bethany, those arm muscles aren't getting any bigger. I don't know.
He's busting your balls till the day does. And that's your last memory of him.
Yeah, but he was a sweet.
But that was it was
That's
fun,
how we
right?
showed our love.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good. So you would never work on a farm again?
No.
What about a farm that grew things instead of using working with animals?
See, I watched movies where they do that.
Grow things?
Yeah. And I have a problem. I can't tell when things are ripe.
Okay.
I know
But you would learn this if you were this type of farmer, you would learn this.
True. But I also okay, I'm not domestic in any way, shape, or form. I'm a nerd. I don't do outside things.
Okay, so you're not out there with a flower garden every spring and
Oh my gosh. No.
No. Okay.
No, I plant perennials that then come up and I look at them and then the weeds grow and then they die. And
They
then-
die.
Yeah.
So you let the weeds choke them out.
Yep. Or my mother-in-law.
The
comes
weeds
over.
choke out your mother-in-law?
No.
Oh, Jesus! Like
Last
that's not
summer,
nice.
I
Weed'll do
heard
that.
all the shenanigans outside my house, and it was my mother-in-law weeding my flower beds.
Ah, okay.
She showed up because she was upset that they were killing all the plants.
She's the one that's messing with you, not
Yeah,
the guy that
she
passed
is.
on.
Right. Yeah, right.
God bless her.
Well, I think there is definitely that type of lifestyle is idealized for a lot of people until you actually go and do it, and you're like, man, this is work, and it's daily.
I came
You
to
got to
the
do it every day.
conclusion very early on what I wanted my life to be, and I wanted it to be a desk with all my history nerdiness just spread out on it. That I
Nice.
could go and look through things and research things, and then when somebody came to me for some cool historical question, I could answer it. Life goals. And that was it. Here we are.
I always liked the idea of having some kind of a farm. Not for business, but just having a farm for the joy of it, But then
Once you start, you got to keep going.
that's the problem, and it would
Yeah.
no longer be a
No,
joy.
no.
But I don't
Especially
know.
when Giant is literally right there. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, as we talked about last week on the show, when we had Reza from the farmers market here, the produce at Giant, wherever you go, Weiss, Giant, it doesn't matter. I'm not knocking any one of them, but a supermarket is not ever really tasty. It's not
Yeah.
sweet when it's
You
supposed
do
to be
need to
sweet.
go to the local
It's not
place.
juicy. Yeah, the meat departments are okay, but it's even better if you can get it from a local farm.
yeah,
So-
Harvest Barn. Shout
Harvest
out to
Bar-
Harvest Barn.
Where's that?
On York Street, heading out of town.
On York Street or the York
the-
Road?
York
30
Road.
bike, yeah.
So
Yeah,
okay.
Route 30.
Road 30.
Wait, where on?
It's the big barn. If you're heading out of town, it's on your left. We go every Sunday. They now know us by name.
At what point are we? Where are we on 30?
Mike, save me. I'm not good with directions. We're out of
Why,
town.
why are you looking at Mike?
He's a farmer. He didn't know. It's Farmer Mike.
You knew where everything is.
Was there a battle with the
I
farmer?
know where every
Yeah, exactly. He knows exactly. He knows where
advertising.
he knows where every battle thing is.
Was there a battle out there?
Right. Where the tomatoes
It's heading
used for a
out.
bed.
Somebody on the chat will let you know, but I'm telling you, it's the best place. I love it. They have meat. They have vegetables. They're the best.
We'll figure it out for you.
Yeah, Stella. Google it,
I'm
Stella.
the worst. Sorry. Get
Well,
me fired on my first day.
oh, no, but all right. So farming is not for you.
No.
It's really not for anybody,
No.
really. I mean, it's a tough thing to do.
Nor is any physical labor.
Yeah, but that feels good though.
No, it doesn't.
It does. Not while you're doing it, but when you're done, you're like, I accomplished something today, and I can feel it in my
We
back.
have very different ideas of accomplishment.
It's like apparently we do.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying I do this stuff. I'm not saying I do physical labor. I avoid it like the plague because of my back. But when I've had to do it, I feel great. I love it.
Yeah.
I love mowing a lawn.
No.
I don't have a lawn
The
to mow.
last time I mowed, I set the mower on fire.
Yeah.
I
See.
do not do these things.
Why did you set the? Yeah.
Like Jimi Hendrix or something? Or
She set it on fire so she didn't have to do it again. Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to mow again, Dad? Boom. Fire.
Exactly.
No, I was changing out my book on tape and I got too close to the tree and I wasn't paying attention and hit the tree and caught the mower on fire.
That's funny. Oh, that's good stuff.
I'm not qualified to do this stuff. And people always say to me, Bethany, do you want to do blah? And I'm like, do you not know me?
But you could try.
When you said, Bethany, I want you to run this board for the That's What She Said podcast, and I looked at you. Did I not? I looked
did.
at you with fear in my
yeah,
eyes.
you did. Yeah, and
Because
listen,
I
I'm
know-
not a techie person. So if I can do this, you could do this.
I married Mark to do that kind of stuff for me.
Well, now you can make Mark proud because you've learned how to hit the record button,
I don't know.
which is really
He
all you
doesn't
had to
seem
do.
to care.
Anyway,
He seemed impressed.
we have some comments here, so let me read them.
Bethany, you're an idiot.
Yeah, who is
Okay.
this idiot you have with you? No, but they're asking you. They're asking, so I think they're talking about
right?
me.
Oh, okay.
Barbara Schultz says, "Why is this on today at 5? I was getting used to 5:30. Don't worry, Barbara. It'll be on. It'll be on at 5:30 regularly. Today we just started a little early because everybody was here, and we're all going to the Jim Hessler talk this evening at 7. It starts at 7. So I just wanted to get a little jump on things in case we went over. It wouldn't be too much over." Because typically the show's an hour and a half, so that would have brought us right to 7, and I don't want anybody to get there late, and I also don't want people leaving in the middle of the show to go there because then I'm like, well, so
I was going to leave.
yeah, I
Bail.
know.
Out.
You
Debbie-
go, I go.
Yeah, right?
Debbie Jones says, "Good evening, everyone." Mitchell Randall says, "Hey now." Ricky Burge says, if I had 4 legs and saw a 2-legged monster coming at me, I'd be freaking out too." Yeah. That's fair. Good evening, everyone. Nice to be here with you all. Fraser Baby. Hello, Fraser Baby. Sorry, I forgot to change my regular name. It's Cindy Jones. Hi, Cindy Jones. How are you? Charles Adams says, "The Pennsylvania reserves weren't there." Oh, because Mike,
Farmers
yeah, the
Oh,
farmers.
sorry.
Got
You are
it,
right.
got
It's
it.
on the east side of 15, which I don't care about. So it's over.
Mike, we got to have a conversation about.
What'd you
the
say? It's on the
term,
east
"I
side
know
of
where
15 and
things
you don't-
are."
Yes. Yes.
And you don't care. So it's on the east side of 15. You don't care.
Nothing
And
happened
I
up
understand that. That
outside
makes
the park,
sense.
yeah.
You, my expectations were up here.
Oh, I know the barn you're talking about. It's on the east side of 15 then?
Yeah.
Can you at least give me that
Yeah,
information?
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So then I know where
It's
you're
a
talking. It's a
big
white
red
barn. Oh,
It's a
red
big
barn.
red barn.
You do not know.
Is it across from the pawn
Mary
shop?
Maids.
It was.
Across from Mary Maids.
But aren't they next to the pawn shop? The
I
tobacco
have
shop?
literally no idea. Do I look
No, I'll find it. Now,
said-
what is it now? I forgot what we're talking
Harvest
about.
Barn?
Thank you. So it's like a farmer's market,
Yes.
Okay.
Kinda. Yeah.
but it's not the farmer's market.
No, no,
the
no, no,
Adams
no.
County farmer's market.
They're just very kind
Markets
people, and
with
they
an S.
Yeah.
have been very good to us.
All right,
So
very
shout
good.
out.
Well, would you like to know what I did this week?
What did you do this week, Matt?
Oh, thanks for asking, Beth. I had a great time, and it's all because of this fella right here. Casey,
Too much. I don't like this.
Casey Turbin. Whatever. Casey Turbin. And Mike, you joined. Why don't you grab those headsets there, Mike, so that you could.
Sit on my lap, Mikey.
Yeah, sit on Casey's lap.
Hey, be careful of that chair. I fell out of it the other day.
Bring my jump bag with me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That's all that's left is the death trap stool. But anyway, Mike Wentz is here as well. Mike joined us one of these days. But so let's see. Monday I went and visited family down in Virginia, and then Tuesday I went out to Winchester, and there met up with Casey and Mike, and then we went and putzed around, as we say. Yes. And then Jonathan Noyalis came out and gave us a tour, a little tour discussion. We had a discussion. It was more of a discussion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just get to know each other type of a thing.
It was your first time you met him, too. So
it was right, exactly. Pull that mic to your mouth more. We went to Starfort, which is pretty neat. It's an old earthen fort that's up there in a housing development now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Behind
Are they
Red
guarding
Cross.
against the housing development? Or?
I don't know. One of the cannons looks like it's aimed right at somebody's house. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would kill to have that.
Yeah, I know. I know.
The same thing.
Yeah.
I would just, that would be
Like
amazing.
like this guy comes out of his house and looks right across, like direct, not like kind of across, straight
into
across
it.
the street.
Like, it's built up earthwork, cannon in his face.
Yes.
Like, right there.
That would be cool.
When Mark made me angry, I'd be like, see that cannon? I have a number to call.
So we did that. So Jonathan came by. I guess that was his lunch break, right?
Yeah, it was
So
between classes.
talked to us a little bit on the lunch break, and then Casey did a great job taking us around.
Oh yeah.
We tried to go to Jiffy Pop Sandwich Shop, but we went at lunchtime, and like we didn't even open the door. We just saw in the window that there was a line to the door.
Oh my.
Pressed against the glass.
That's
people
how you know
trying
Yeah.
it's
to get
good
out.
then.
Exactly. And Mike and I were hangry, so we're like, well, let's
Never
go
mind.
somewhere else. We'll go here tomorrow. So
Went to Union Jacks.
we went to Union Jacks, which is cool. So what do they call that area there that's walled off, or not walled off?
So
but
it's the pedestrian mall.
The pedestrian mall.
The Old Town Walking Mall would be another name.
yeah, that was pretty neat. So it's, they close it off to traffic. And so it's
that's
like,
cool.
yeah, so you just walked up. But it's like all the old buildings. What's the name of the hotel?
The Taylor Hotel.
The Taylor Hotel. And that's a cool old hotel
It now
looking thing.
houses McAdoo's, which is a little restaurant, but the historic site has a wayfinder. It's documented.
We didn't go to McAdoo's, but if anyone from McAdoo's is listening, maybe this is how you spell McAdoo, but I think it should have another O. They have it as McAdoo. What?
My area, PI.
Yeah, it's
Is
a,
it with a
it's a
sing-
college town franchise. Yeah,
It is?
There's multiples of them.
But that doesn't mean
They're
they
right,
still
that's right.
should spell it with another O. Because I would look at that and go McAdoo's. And it doesn't make any sense. McAdoo's.
But your face would be full
Potato,
of delicious
potato.
sandwich.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly. So then after lunch, we went over to the courthouse.
Directly across the street.
Straight across
so if
the
you're looking
street.
for location, you're right there across the street. We went to the Courthouse Museum.
Put Mike on trial. Remember, Mike?
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
found you guilty.
Of what?
No, we didn't even say. I just said
Guilty, yeah.
I stood up there where the judge would be because there was
a blank check.
Why
Just
do
like,
you put up with it?
blank check. There was a gavel up there, and I stood up where the judge would be, and Mike went where the defendant would be, and I said, "Mr. Lentz, how do you plead to the charges before you?" And he said, "Not guilty," and I said, "Guilty," and that was about it, right?
This was
yeah,
a
that-
very historical room that you should not be doing these sort of
It's
shenanigans
okay. His
in.
fingerprints
but
are on that gavel now.
Is that true?
No, I mean, you weren't
Should
out
I
of
have
line.
that more
I'm sure,
reference?
I'm sure if you were a child, they'd be like, "Sir, you can't do that." But since you were
Yeah, it would be.
acclaimed broadcaster,
It's unbecoming of a child, but it's okay for me.
Yeah, you let it roll. We got to shout out our friend Jack Owens
Oh,
down
absolutely.
there. Young man, 22 years old, bright future in the Civil War field. He helps out with the SVBF and runs that museum. There.
Yeah,
Helps
cool
them out.
kid. And what was the other thing we did?
Well, we was at
We
the
went to Jordan
cemetery.
Springs.
Well,
Yeah,
we
so-
went. We went upstairs. There's cool exhibits upstairs.
And
You could
that's
see
brand new.
graffiti.
For
Yes,
the listeners,
yes.
brand spanking new, multi-million-dollar renovation. The day we were there was the second day it was open to the public.
wow.
And I know the
Oh,
Shenandoah,
really?
Yep, Shenandoah
I
Valley.
thought you said it was the first. It was
No,
the second
day. Monday
okay.
was the first day. But
Okay.
Shenandoah Valley Battlefield Foundation is super excited. It's a great museum.
It smelled new, so that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the graffiti I thought was really
Oh,
neat.
Very
absolutely.
cool. Very
Somebody drew a picture of boobies.
Yeah,
and
they're
I was like, even in the Civil War, they loved them.
Yep.
So that was
You're
interesting.
sitting there impoverished and near death. and
Right, you're starving.
What are you thinking of?
Poop. Well,
Mama.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. By the way, cookie dough, anyone? No? Okay. So then what did we do after that?
We went to Jordan Springs. That was we finished our route, Stevenson's Depot. But that's the historic Jordan Springs is where I DJ. That's how I show up with speakers to Matt's events.
The wedding video of all wedding videos
But
right
a historic site in the second Winchester story. Very cool old monastery, very old mansion. Mike was impressed. So
Oh yeah.
that was my goal.
Oh, it was very cool. The basement was spooky.
Yeah.
That was spooky.
Yeah, I was trying to explain to the guys the mornings I've been in there at 6 a.m. by myself and feeling a little freaked out.
Yeah, but it was really neat though. That the room with the bar was cool,
Yeah.
and then the library right off the side of it there.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat. It's a beautiful building inside.
So is this a tour you give regularly?
No. Just
This
for
is
buddies. But hit me up if you now that you guys know me. Message me. We'll hang
yeah,
out.
he'll
Come to
take you around.
Winchester. Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff.
He loves. I mean, honestly, he loves his town, and he knows a lot about it, and he'll take you around and show you everything. And it's a shame because it's hard to imagine what he's talking about because of the trees and the development and everything. Same problem that we don't really have that problem as much here because we clear the trees. And it's all federal property. But out there, it's not. A lot of things that, are very significant historical ground are in private hands.
Like, to put in perspective, in the 60s or the 70s when they built the 37 bypass, they just blew it right through West Fort. Just right through it. Like, not even a consideration.
They didn't even care. I guess, is that because they lost the war? Why isn't Virginia
Now
good
you're
at
getting
preserving?
into some deep
No, because I mean, you go to Fredericksburg, right?
Yeah.
It's development all the way up, almost all the way up to the wall.
Right.
And then I remember there's always a battle over Manassas, and Manassas basically built right up to the park boundary.
Right up to
I mean, you go
66
on Chin Ridge, I forget the name of the road, but you go on Chin Ridge in the woods there, you look at the back of the movie
Yeah,
theater.
100%.
Yeah.
And then I remember years ago when I was little, the big fight was Disney World putting a park up there, and it was like, we already have a historic park. What do you need Disney to do it for? You know, and we don't want your version of history.
Yeah.
And but there's always it always seems to be that there's a huge threat to a sacred piece of ground in Virginia, and I remember. I couldn't understand it, and my dad and I were talking about it years ago. I was young. I was like maybe a teenager. I'm not sure. And I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand. And then he's like, well, they lost the war. Why do they want to remember this
It's
stuff?
proximity to D.C. Fredericksburg's right on that 95 corridor. You're an hour from the Capitol building.
Right.
Winchester's an hour and a half, hour 20.
But isn't there another direction you could build in? Like, why do you have to build right up to the
You go to
park?
Charlestown. I mean, Harper's Ferry is engulfed by a commuter community.
Right,
They're
absolutely.
flying to D.C. every day.
And they didn't have like the same people coming. Like here in Gettysburg, the townspeople started doing that like right away.
No, that is a great point.
And this is nothing new. As that huge high school that was there in Winchester. It's built.
Which one are you talking about?
The not his, the one that he went to, but the other one, the big one, the beautiful one. That's built on the site of the Battle of First Winchester. Right there.
Yeah.
And that one looks like something out of Beverly Hills 90210. Like that was columns.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Not mini column. I mean, like the cafeteria has columns on the side.
Really?
Like, it has a glass walkway on. We didn't even go down the side of the school to see the profile. It's gorgeous.
See, I think no matter what the median income of an area is, the children should go to a school that's a piece of shit institutional building like everybody else did. Yeah, like I did. Yeah. You shouldn't have anything nice, no niceties in school, because you're going to be disappointed because most people are going to get out and get a job that doesn't have a beautiful office.
Well, you asked when you were down there the county city thing. Why are we so? And truly, Winchester City is a different universe in Frederick County, and it's just a whole different animal. Schools alike. So. Yeah, we had that discussion too.
So Beth said Winchester changed hands multiple times during the war. The common number is 72.
72 is the one that is best kind of accepted. That's a Chamber of Commerce
just
number.
once or twice.
Yeah. I've heard it go as high as the 90s, even the low hundreds.
But now, don't tell them the answer. Don't unpack it because we talk about it in
the show.
In the show. And the purpose of going down there wasn't just to lollygag around with these fellas. It was to record a show with Jonathan Noyales about the Battle of Second Winchester, which will come out on the anniversary, the 160th anniversary of the Battle of Second Winchester.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yes. And so we talk about that. We all hear it's 72, and then I remember I said that, and Jonathan kind of made a face. He was like, "Well," And then I said, well, unpack that for me, please. Tell us. Tell us, what is the answer?
So I was happy. I got my Robert Milroy story confirmed, so I'm happy about
Which
that.
one?
Up the flagpole?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah, so tell that.
Okay, so Robert Milroy, who's the Union commander there at 2nd Winchester, he's in, I think, was it Fort Milroy?
Fort Milroy.
Yeah, Fort Milroy.
Named it after himself.
There are a series,
Of course, as you do.
There are a series of forts out there, but they're not really all that connected, and they're far away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So he has his staff rig up a basket, place it on a flagpole, a flagpole in the fort. He gets inside the basket, and they run him up the flagpole so he can see out and observe. And so they did that multiple times.
And the people down below weren't like, what in the bejesus is he doing?
So that's one of my favorite Civil War stories, Robert Milroy up the flagpole.
Yeah.
I mean...
and I will shout out for the listeners, get Jonathan's book, Jonathan Noyalis. It's called My Will is Absolute Law, which is a great quote taken from Milroy to his wife to kind of give you some insight into...
To his wife?
Yeah, to his wife.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, not a fellow military peer, just letting his wife know.
No, he's not telling... Hey, Bob, he's not telling his wife, my will is absolute law in the household. He's talking about the town of Winchester.
Yeah.
To all the other wives.
But there is... Bob Steenstra's at the door. Hey, Bobby.
I'm curious what you guys are talking about.
Well, our trip to Winchester.
Oh,
My indignation as a wife. What we're talking about.
Do you know Bob, Beth?
We have met in passing.
Okay, well, now you're meeting
Now
and
we're
standing.
meeting in real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bethany Yingling.
Bethany.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yingling.
Yeah.
Beer
The world
empire.
famous.
The world's oldest beer is right
What was
here.
the reason for the ire directed at one's spouse?
Oh.
Oh, no. So
We have
Milroy,
to tell
there's
the
a book
story.
about Milroy. The name of the book is My Will is Absolute Law.
My will is absolute law.
Oh, yes.
And he wrote that in a letter to his wife, but the way Casey phrased it, Beth thought that he was saying that to his wife.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood. Very cool.
Have a good day,
Look
Bob.
at him. He even looks angry.
Yeah. I was
Yes.
hoping you would have some comments. The Gray Eagle, they called him. A very...
Can we show that?
I wouldn't say peculiar, but an interesting looking fella.
Hold on, I'll do it.
Okay.
You guys keep
He
talking.
looks
Look
mean.
at that fella right there. Yeah. Robert Milroy. Indiana.
I'm sure his wife was beautiful.
I'm sure she was a...
You know,
Hey.
No,
Hey.
well, okay.
heard
So
about the Midwest.
here's
I
the
don't know,
story.
that's all
Tell
I'm saying.
the story about what. So Milroy's wife came to stay for a while. Tell that story about what he did to the Pryor house? Not Pryor.
The Logan House.
Logan
yeah,
House.
So this is kind of interesting. So the if you come to Winchester, across from our Hanley Library, there's a white building that is a boutique called Kimberly's that has a huge apple in front of it. That is historically the Logan House, which was used as a headquarters for Union generals, Milroy, and then Sheridan in the fall of '64. When he comes there, Nathaniel Banks and some of his men had used it, and the military people had shared it cooperatively with the family. He also had a sick daughter that had a skin condition. And when Milroy comes to town, he started sharing it with her, but then he calls his wife to town.
Never do that.
And they got to go. She ain't going to be living with these people in Winchester, Virginia.
She didn't want to live with them.
It was more her than anything.
Yeah.
So he concocts a plan to say that they had mistreated a Jesse Scout, which is another thing we'll get to what a Jesse Scout is. Maybe you'll save that for the episode.
Save that for the
But
episode.
very interesting. Then essentially takes them out to the back door and casts them out of town, and they never come back. Takes their home. With a sick daughter, wouldn't even let them have their medicine. So
not very nice. What did she have?
I forgot. I don't even want to try to butcher the name of the.
Yeah, because I thought
disease.
I thought you said syphilis. It wasn't syphilis.
No, some sort of skin condition.
Yeah.
Where she needed
Not scabies. No. Is there another one that sounds like syphilis?
It sounded like syphilis.
Yeah.
Porta something iphilus.
Porta
There's an iphilus on the end.
Portofino, iphilus, snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus, yeah.
But anyway, so then after, so then Mike, that was all we did for the day with Mike, right?
Yeah. Mike had to head out.
And then Mike headed out, and then we went to dinner.
Yeah.
At
50/50 Tap House.
Tap
on Cork
House.
Street.
Listener came and joined us, and that was nice. We got to talk to him, Lowry.
Directly across the street from the George Washington headquarters on Piccadilly.
Right. And then I stayed at the George Washington Hotel,
yes.
which was beautiful. Beautiful hotel. And it had a Pizzeria Uno downstairs, which I'd never eaten at. And it was, you know what, as a pizza snob, it was pretty good.
Hey.
I'm not going to lie.
That's good.
It was good. And then, so then let's see. The next day, then we get up and we record the show
at the fort.
Joe Denise joined us out there. Joe's a Virginia boy, so he came out and joined us, and we had a nice time recording in the middle of Star Fort with him.
Smack dab.
Yep, smack dab in the middle. And what else? Let's see. Oh, so then that was done, and then I went back to the hotel for a little bit.
Then we went to MSV.
Talk about that.
Museum of the Shenandoah Valley, one of the kind of the newer treats. I'd say it's probably 15, 20 years old on Amherst Street. It's on the site of historic Glen Burnie, which was the home of Governor James Wood. He was a colonel during the Revolutionary War. He was actually the colonel.
Not the actor.
Yeah, not James Wood. James Wood, the actor. But
for half the day, I was walking around going, wow, this guy's done everything. And turns out it wasn't even him. It's James Woods.
Yeah, he had a father that was a surveyor for Lord Fairfax and worked with Washington, and then his son went on to work with the Colonial Revolutionary Army and went on to be a governor of Virginia. Actually, he's the governor when George Washington passes, which is kind of a trivial thing that's kind of cool. And definitely was a contemporary of Daniel Morgan and another Winchester revolutionary figure we love. And the museum's great. It's massive, has a huge collection of his antique furniture, antique dollhouses.
The dollhouses, yeah, that was that. So it's a really cool. No, it's really neat. Well, so what's the story with the doll? Tell the story of the dollhouse.
So the story is
quickly.
Julian Glass Jr., who was the descendant of James Wood, was into these miniature dollhouses, and when they left this property, it was part of the deal that they were going to be displayed. And they're incredible, they're amazing, but they're, I would say, a little out of place.
Are there dolls?
No. Think miniature buildings. Think someone like someone's, for example, they do one of Glen Burnie. Say someone did the Willis House. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to say that, but he was. No,
that's okay. You can just keep going.
Yeah, but he was into some things that maybe his great descendant James Wood Jr., the colonel and military man, might not have been into, and they left that to the home. So.
Okay.
The cheerleader, Steve Martin.
All right, can we go back because I missed this?
Sure.
Just let him run.
I'm going to be a horrible human and
Okay.
ask the question just bluntly.
Okay.
What is your claim to fame?
I don't know if I have a claim to fame.
No, but like, you know your shit.
I'm from Winchester, born and
Yeah.
raised, went to school there. I'm just a local into history, just kind of a historian. That's
I
all.
am very impressed with you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Because then I was thinking, like, does he work for the museum or the park service or something? You're just that
No,
good.
no.
Just a townie.
Yeah.
You know
Just a
your
townie.
stuff. I'm
Yeah,
very
he does.
proud.
I love my town.
That's awesome.
We did ride by the Patsy Cline.
Okay,
stuff
so
too.
now,
We
so
did some
that's the other.
Patsy
All right.
stuff, yeah.
So we go to the Patsy Cline. Well, we drive by the Patsy Cline house.
Your tattoo.
Yes, love Patsy. She's my muse, if you will.
Yeah.
Aw, how cute.
Here's what's sad about Patsy Cline and Winchester. It's her hometown. Her house is a landmark, and we also saw her grave.
Aw.
But tell the story. What was it? A road they wanted to name after her? Tell that story, because this is sad, and this is a wrong that needs to be righted. And I think we should
We're starting a
spearhead the
campaign.
movement. Yes.
And
Awesome.
it's Civil War adjacent, so we're going to come around
I've
to it.
always
sorry, I
wanted to
just
wear a
felt.
sandwich board and go somewhere and protest.
So my thesis as a modern Winchesterite, if you were a Patsy Cline fan that was like, I'm going to go to her hometown and go scope her out, you ain't going to find much in Winchester.
Really?
There ain't much to see about her. And the problem was the locals in Winchester at the time of her fame did not really care for her. And you would say potentially some of these daughters of the Confederacy that let the lost cause run rampant, little conservative, didn't like that Patsy wore pants, didn't like she
Oh,
wore
how
tight
dare.
clothes, didn't like she flirted with men, that she married a divorcee. So in modern parlance, you would say that she was slut-shamed by the
Rude.
town, and it comes around, and this isn't just, makeup. She passes in 1963. In the early 80s, or late 80s, early 90s, they're building a road that they have two names are picked out. We're going to name it Patsy Cline Boulevard or Jubal Early Boulevard.
Oh.
Jubal Early.
Jubal Early, the great
First of all, no one can say it right. So, like, why
unreconstructed
would you do that?
Confederale. Jubal Early, not exactly Winchester's bright point, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And then, and sure enough, the city council decides to name it after Jubal Early and not Patsy. And if you read the Winchester Star article from that day, it is noted that a woman jumps up and says, "Good, she was nothing but a whore." And
Can you believe that?
And that is documented in the newspaper, not my BS. So.
I don't care what you think about other women. You never say that to another woman.
Well,
Because
back then you did.
apparently so. Because everybody has.
And
their
just because she
story.
wore pants, right? I mean, did she sleep?
She was promiscuous in the sense. There's
Oh, she was,
stories about
okay.
it, but I mean, you know, some. Of
But
these
still,
little
you don't do
Southern
that
girls
on the
probably were
record.
too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
she's, in my opinion, she's a modern feminist icon, and it would be very smart of Winchester to embrace her, maybe find some bronze, throw a statue up or something. So
But
maybe-
now we went to her grave, and her grave is in one of those memorial parks where all the headstones are flat to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Except hers has like a big 3-bell
Kind of
tower thing
Oh,
over
wow.
it. Yeah, and so I mean, it's obviously the most
prominent. There's some mausoleums.
There's some other things there, but
a lot
it's
of military figures out there, but it's right beside the road. It's meant to be
can
prominent.
really
You
see
can
it.
see it.
yeah. So it was neat, and I feel bad for the memory
Yeah.
of Patsy Cline. I think that something should be done about
Well,
that.
there's a Patsy Cline museum that is quite prolific in Nashville, and nothing. They have the house in Winchester, but like I said, they put a theater in at the high school now. They do have a great thing called the Patsy Cline Classic. Interestingly enough, Willie Nelson is the one that comes to Winchester in 2009 and says, I wrote Crazy for Patsy, and I want to help invest in it. And actually, he did the inaugural performance there. They've had the Beach Boys, Merle Haggard, some great country acts have been right at Winchester.
Yeah.
I feel like if I met Willie Nelson in real life, I would be in love with
his
him.
90th birthday was a day or two ago, so he's still kicking.
All I could say is Patsy deserves a little RESPECT. Find out what it means to me.
Yeah.
And then,
When
of
are we
course,
doing our protest?
well, we're going to have to talk about this after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
Pants
figure it
only,
out.
though. Only pants.
Yes, that's good. We'll get a whole bunch of ladies together. They'll wear pants and nothing but
We should do an
pants.
episode for the ladies podcast. When we're
Yeah.
down the road.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Talk about Patsy Cline. Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's second season. Let's just get through
Season
Gettysburg
2.
first.
Yeah.
And the highlight though of the whole trip, of course, was when we went to the Jiffy Pop sandwich shop.
Of course,
and it's actually Jiffy sandwich. It's not Jiffy Pop
Pop.
sandwich. I just like that because it rhymes. But it's Jiffy sandwich shop.
It was Jiffy.
I had a cheesesteak. It was delicious. First of all, they don't skimp on the meat. Some people, like they skimp on the meat.
Yeah.
This thing was full.
I think they could sense your celebrity was what it was.
Yeah, right.
The aura followed you in.
So the listener that we met up with for dinner the night before said that he had gone in there for lunch that day and asked to meet Cameron's cousin, and because Cam's cousin. Oh, so you might not know this.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I
Did you
hear
watch the
that.
show?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So Cam's cousin, her
Yeah.
husband and her own the place, and so he talked to her. I don't know what the conversation was, but then we went in and a woman helped me at the register, and I said, "Are you Cameron Mallow's cousin?" And then the guy behind her who was at the grill, he turned around and goes, he's got this big smile on his face. He's like, "That's my wife's cousin." And I said, "Oh yeah." And then they call her from the back, and she comes out and introduces him.
Aw.
And there wasn't much of a conversation there or anything like that, but it's really good. So if you ever find yourself in not Shenandoah, Winchester, find Jiffy Pop Sandwich Shop.
And within
Or Jiffy Sandwich
within
Shop.
less than a mile from Museum of the Shenandoah Valley, Glen Burnie Historic District, it's right there in the meat
Yes.
of the town if you need to go.
Yes.
It's-
And what's the barbecue place across the street?
Bonnie Blue, that's a good one. We didn't get to go there. but
Bonnie
next time.
Blue barbecue place is a little easier to find.
Yeah.
I would say it's right on the corner.
More of a
It's-
mark, yeah.
yeah.
It splits there at Amherst and Boscawen, but you're right on the outskirts of Old Town.
So it's near there. What's that big place I asked you about, the store that's got all the Carhartt stuff in it?
Oh, the Working Man
The
store.
Working Man store.
Yeah.
That's it's an old train station,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Or
exactly.
no?
Well, there's a little theater. There's a train depot that used to
Right.
be there. It's a little theater, the Working Man store. They're all in one lot
Yeah.
and consolidated.
Looks like an old warehouse,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. It's not like a strip mall. It's definitely like an
Yeah.
old historic buildings that were built together.
But really good. I recommend the cheesesteak. Cameron, of course, recommends the ham and cheese sandwich. But ham and cheese is so
So Cam.
Well, I'm ready to go.
So Cam,
When are we
yeah.
doing our
Come on down. Well,
I'm telling you, I want to go there more often. It's not a bad drive, right? 2 hours.
I've been beating Matt up
How
for
long did it
more
take you,
than a
Mike?
year to get him to come down.
An hour
So-
because I live on I-81.
Because you're right on 81.
Yeah, just
So it's like an hour and a half for me then.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not bad at all. Straight shot down 81.
Well, you're gonna have to take me because obviously Mark won't go. So
Okay, that's fine. I'll be your date. We'll all go down.
Awesome.
We should have some kind of something.
I think in the
Just
near
go.
future there could potentially we're working on something maybe that brings everybody to Winchester.
Well, that was
That would
something
be
we
cool.
talked about was should we do some kind of a show there? I say I don't think we have enough listeners in Virginia to sell enough tickets to make it worth it. You say I'm wrong. I say, what the F do you know? You say, come on, man. And you would go. Beth would go. But you live in the Poconos.
Yeah, she's liking them.
Right now. Oh, yeah. How's that going, your search?
I had 2 interviews today, and I have one tomorrow before I head home.
Okay, good. So maybe we'll do something. I think what we should do, I think the safe thing to do.
I don't like safe.
Well, I do.
So you don't win battles being safe. Let's talk to Bill.
We're not winning a battle here.
Come on, you gotta take some risks back.
Well, I take risk every day that I order Chinese. It could be food poison. No, I think what we should do is just a meetup, right?
I'm down with that. Yeah.
Well, we'll plan a meetup and see how many people show up. It'll be free. We'll do. There'll be something we can do. A social thing. It doesn't necessarily. It could be history. I think we meet up and do dinner or lunch at the Union Jack, and then we walk around in that area, go to the courthouse, and then we'll do lunch at Union Jack and then dinner at McAdo's, and
stay on the mall
and stay. We'll just stay there in that little
area.
area.
He makes fun of McAdo's Taylor Hotel, massively historic. Stonewall Jackson. The apocryphy is that he had his general patch sewn on there when he was promoted officially from brigadier general. So there's some great history there, and in a really cool spot. So.
Yeah, so I think we could do something like that. But if you're a Virginia listener, or if you're within a couple hours drive where it's not a big deal for you to go to Winchester and you think you would do this, let us know in the comments.
I was going to say I think they are.
Oh, are they? All right, let's see. Let's go to the comments before we go to break.
I'm going to shoot down Matt's theory here. My sense is that his loyal AG listeners would give us 50-60% of the show, and we have a good contingent in Winchester that will give us the rest.
I don't know if there's that many loyal listeners
Let's check the feed. Let's see.
Well, let's see. No, I would never go that far for you, says John Johnson. Let's see. Okay, we're going to leave off here. Let me go up here. Hi, Stella. Not a whole lot. How about you? Spent last week dodging and sweating. All right, so people's giving a lot of personal information in here. Tom Canavan's going to Manchester in the UK in a few weeks for their 5th anniversary bombing. Of the bombing. Sorry, missing out. Get out of the car tours. That's okay. There's more this year. Don't worry. Do you think Supervisor Sims would allow a section of Culp's Hill to be restored to the 1863 defenses? You mean like build up? I don't think. I think there was a plan to do a section of it, not where it was, but near where it was, to give you an example of what it looked like. But they scrapped that, I think, because they figured that most people would just climb all over them and destroy them anyway, because people can't control their children. Yeah. And that's control your children, folks. All right.
He looked at me when he said
no,
that.
I didn't. I looked in the camera.
Real hard pan.
Let's see. I have to see you get a Carter. Hoping for late summer, early fall. Okay, that's Tom there. Blah, blah. Thank you. I'm in Winchester. Okay, so Debbie Jones is in. Well, Debbie, you live here. I'm talking about people that. Yeah, I'm not poo-pooing you. I'm just saying people that don't live close to Gettysburg or Winchester, would you go? Or even the people that would? I don't know. Maybe forget what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Patsy Cline will make you cry in your beer. Yes.
First woman in the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Soda stubbing your toe. Oh, God. Matt is going to be Bethany's date. God bless you, girl. So very kind. Thank you so much, Stella. You can tell she's one of my number one fans. She's the most loyal out of all of them. With a comment like that. Okay, so we're going to take a break right now, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be just amazing when you get back. Jen Murray is going to be calling in. We'll be right back.
We are too. We'll be right back.
Want the freshest cup of coffee in Gettysburg? Then visit Bantam Roasters, formerly 82 Cafe at 82 Steinware Avenue. They roast all of their coffee in-house, and they have a full coffee bar to keep you caffeinated during your trip. Visit them at www.raggededgerc.com for their menu and shipping options for all of their freshly roasted coffee. Use promo code Hancock for 10% off your order in the cafe.
Enjoy historical stories on the History Fix platform. Explore movies, short films, and documentaries. Addressing Gettysburg podcast fans receive an extra $5 off the first year's annual subscription. Sign up at historyfix.com and use promo code Gettysburg. Every subscription includes a 7-day risk-free trial. Escape into history with History Fix.
This episode of Addressing Gettysburg is brought to you in part by me, audiobook narrator Mike Scott. Narrator of Savis Beattie's Bloody Autumn, the Shenandoah Valley Campaign of 1864, and Unlike Anything That Ever Floated, the Monitor and Virginia and the Battle of Hampton Roads. If you are an author or publisher interested in having your titles produced as audiobooks, or even just in learning more about the process, give me a shout. You can find my contact info on my website, MikeScottVoice.com. That's MikeScottVoice.com.
The 1863 civilians of Gettysburg were reluctant witnesses to the Great Battle. Join Ken Rich, the man in the red shirt, for his historic town walking tours. You could book these tours by emailing ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. That's ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. And when you're in town, look for the guy in the red shirt. And Civil War Trails. It's the world's largest open-air museum, and they offer over 1,300 sites across 6 states. Drive the Gettysburg campaign turn by turn, paddle to Frederick Douglass's birthplace, or hike to remote earthworks and artillery positions. Visit civilwartrails.org to request a brochure and explore their interactive map. Follow Civil War Trails and create some history of your own.
You're listening to the Addressing Gettysburg podcast with Matt Callery.
You're listening to the man who refuses to travel while single. I love that I never read these before I start doing. Okay, all right. You're listening to the man who refuses to travel while single. Here's Matt.
Thank you, Quavos. All right, so, as you know, a while ago, last summer sometime, it was right after the cornhole incident. We had our friend Jen Murray on the show, and Jen's calling in now to talk about an event that she's got coming up. What's going on, Jen? How you been?
Hey, Matt. I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for making some time for me today.
Always
What's going
time
on
for
in
you.
Gettysburg?
Well, a lot is going on in Gettysburg. There are buses everywhere now. It's bus season, and the road off of the Tawnytown Road entrance, the Tawnytown Road entrance is being paved. So that's closed, which means Hunt Avenue is a way to get from Baltimore to Tawnytown, but not Tawnytown to Baltimore. So it is a bit congested. Yeah, it is. But that's supposed to be done in June. So hopefully by the 160th, we'll have enough room there. But otherwise, everything is going well. Everything is going well.
It's a beautiful day.
It's a gorgeous day, yeah, and it's not too hot yet. We did have like some 80-degree weather the couple of weeks ago, but that was
I
it.
saw that.
Yeah, but now it's kind of normal spring weather, I would say.
We went backwards.
Enjoy.
We went backwards. We will. How are things in Oklahoma?
Good. We are in the penultimate week of the semester, so this week classes, next week is the last week of spring semester, and then final exam week.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, very good, very good. So what is the big event that you have coming up, and where is it?
So I would like to share with your listeners an event that we are doing, we, Oklahoma State University, in collaboration with the Adams County Historical Society.
Nice.
We are doing 2 Civil War weekends at the museum. ACHS just opened a new facility, as no doubt all of your listeners know.
Mm-hmm.
And on May 21st and May 22nd, we're having 2 speakers each day, 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. I can give you the specific people and what they're going to be talking about. But it's an opportunity to come listen to some Civil War talks, visit the new museum, and the best part is that the profits made from the event will be split 50-50 with the Adams County Historical Society and the other half to my Civil War scholarship for my students at Oklahoma State University.
Very nice. So who's going to be there?
So the lineup is some familiar names. Your listeners will recognize them. John Heiser kicks off Saturday morning.
Very nice.
Ooh, see some Heiser fans here. Heiser is going to be talking about the 1913 reunion, which is something he spent a lot of time studying about, and he's kicking that off at 10:30 on Saturday, May the 20th.
Okay.
That afternoon's followed by another Gettysburg fan favorite, Chris Gwynn.
Oh, yes.
Chief of Interpretation. You guys know him at Gettysburg. We'll be talking in the afternoon about William Robbins.
Oh, nice.
Who was, of course, the 4th Alabama, and particularly his role serving as a park commissioner and the way in which Robbins influenced the creation or helped to influence the creation of Gettysburg National Military Park. And then Sunday morning, I'll be talking about, no surprise, George Meade and the Battle of Gettysburg. A little something about George Meade. And then Sunday afternoon will be Dr. Peter Carmichael, director of the Civil War Institute at Gettysburg College, and he will be talking about John Futch, who is a North Carolina soldier, some of you all might know, whose brother will be killed on Culp's Hill on the fight on July the 2nd, and Futch and his experience post-Gettysburg is really fascinating.
Yeah.
And Dr. Carmichael will be talking about his experience in the Gettysburg campaign.
I had Pete in here a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about a bunch of other people too, but John Futch was definitely prominent in the discussion there.
That's his guy.
Yeah, he's one of Pete's favorites.
Yeah. And so now this is 2 weekends, 2 in a row, or?
Great. Thanks for asking that. The
You're
next
welcome.
weekend, set me up. The next weekend is in July. So anyone doing some advanced planning, book the dates July 22nd and July 23rd. And I can give you the lineup on those July dates if you'd like.
Yeah.
July 22nd on Saturday. That day's kicked off by John Hennessy, who is the retired chief historian at Fredericksburg, Spotsylvania National Military Park. He's the author of the best book on the Second Manassas Campaign, and John's coming up from Fredericksburg to talk about the Army of the Potomac. And I'm thrilled to have him come up and join. He's going to be followed by a fan favorite from ACHS, Sue Boardman.
Ah, yes. We love Sue.
Sue's going to be talking about the creation of the Gettysburg National Cemetery.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
She's done, a ton of research on that, as you and all your listeners know. So she'll be working on that project for us in the afternoon. Then Sunday morning is kicked off by Scott Hartwig.
Oh, another good one. Yes.
Fan favorite, retired supervising historian at Gettysburg. And Scott, of course, is going to be talking about his book on the Battle of Antietam, which is supposed to be coming out, I think, in May, if I'm right on that.
I think that's what he said, yeah.
Some 900 and some pages, so he's going to be talking about that.
It's a tome.
And
it's a 5-hour lecture.
Right. So buckle it up. Yeah, bring a snack. And then Sunday afternoon is going to be 2 people speaking sort of in tandem. Dr. Jim Broomall, who's a professor of history at Shepherd University.
Another good one there. Yeah.
Fan favorite. And Dana Schoaf, editor of Civil War Times.
Okay, yeah, Dana.
All right, fan favorite too. And they're going to be talking about the Battle of Culp's Hill in history and memory.
Nice.
Which
Very
they've
good.
done considerable research on as well. So I'm pretty proud of this lineup.
Yeah.
We've put together the best people in the business, not just in the Gettysburg community, but sort of the larger Civil War public history dynamic. And it's really, in my opinion, working with ACHS is pretty a signature event of the summer. So I'm hopeful that some of your listeners will be intrigued and will come out and remember that it's going to be used as a fundraiser, with the profits going to ACHS and the other half going to my Civil War scholarship here at Oklahoma State University.
Very nice. You mentioned George Meade, and you have a Meade book you've been working on, or is it out yet? Or what's the story? Tell us about your book. Give us the latest on your book.
Well, thanks for asking about that too. Yes, and the
You're
mead
welcome.
book is the work is slow and steady. I just finished my chapter on Cold Harbor, so mead is about to move to Petersburg, which gets me in June of 1864.
Okay,
So
we're getting there.
we're getting there,
Getting
slow
there.
and steady.
That's how you win the
overnight
race.
Campaign's over. That's right. You know,
Yeah.
like Grant says, if it takes all summer.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, very good, Jen. And when you, so I guess you'll be up in May then, right?
I'll be up in May. Yeah, I'll be up a little bit. Pretty much when the semester is over, we head back to Pennsylvania and sort of settle in there for the summer. But I'll be back in time for the Civil War event at the museum.
So we do our shows on Thursday now, live. So if you're in town that Thursday and you have the time, come on in to that week's show.
I can do that, the 18th.
Wonderful. So we'll,
Yeah, I can
we'll
do that.
pencil you in there. Or not pencil, pen. May 18th, Jen. Okay, there we go. Great, Jen.
And if
Yeah.
any, can I just, one
Of
last
course.
thing, if anyone's interested in that, check out the Adams County Facebook page, the ACHS, Adams County Historical Society Facebook page. They've got a link to the event on there, or go to their website and they have event calendar there, and you can go ahead and buy your tickets ahead of time and reserve your spot for what promises to be a pretty special event this summer in May and again in July.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much, Jen Murray on the phone there. Very good. Everybody gets applause. And by the way, we should say
John
we did
Heiser.
Yes, exactly. John, all the people that she mentioned for the May event, we clapped to. I don't know why we started clapping only for the July people, but it's nothing against anybody. I swear to God. So, Jen, thank you for calling in. I got to move along because we got to get to Jim Hessler's thing later on. So you have a good one, and I'll see you in May.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Bye,
You're
y'all.
very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Jen Murray, and we're going to take another break. We'll be right back after these words, ladies and gentlemen, and oh, what wonderful words they are. I hope you enjoy them. I'm just waiting to hit my post, but it's a little longer than I thought.
Want to promote your
There we go.
Gettysburg business? Send an email to sales@addressinggettysburg.com.
My night has seen the glory of the...
Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Gettysburg's premier museum, is housed in the historic Lutheran Seminary building constructed in 1832, a witness to the first day of battle. The museum's 3 floors of exhibits connect visitors to the dilemmas that led to the Civil War, provide a powerful and personal view of the battle's first day, and explore one of the battlefield's largest hospitals. No visit to Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center is complete without a guided tour of the building's famous cupola, where on the eve of battle, officers and civilians saw thousands of Confederate soldiers' campfires burning to the west, and Brigadier General John Buford watched for vital federal reinforcements as fighting erupted on the morning of July 1st. Today, you can stand where Buford stood and discover how this view helped chart the course of the Battle of Gettysburg. Your trip to Gettysburg is not complete without a serious visit to Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Gettysburg's premier museum. Purchase tickets online at seminaryridgemuseum.org or call 717-339-1300.
To get tickets or a cupola tour, listeners may call or walk in and mention addressing Gettysburg, or by ordering online using the promo code AG1863 for 20% off.
Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center. It began here.
There's a devil to pay.
If you're a lover of history, then go to trhistorical.com. There you'll find apparel, drinkware, decor, and more featuring a wide range of interests from the ancient world to the Cold War. Looking to make an impression with the perfect gift? Well, TR Historical now offers gift cards and a vintage wrapping service for a truly unique presentation. And our listeners will receive 10% off plus free shipping in the U.S. when you use promo code GBERG1863. So go to trhistorical.com, TR Historical, for the love of history.
Think
Think outside the bus and let family-owned Gettys Bike Tours take you on a cycling journey across the picturesque and historic Gettysburg battlefield. There's no better way than by bicycle to gain a feel for the terrain of the battlefield. Slow enough to see it all, yet fast enough to do it all. Follow the route of Union troops entering the fray as you ride to the site of the first shots of this epic 3-day battle. Feel the drama as you put yourself in the position of a Confederate soldier just before he steps off to make Pickett's charge. Take a stand with the heroic Colonel Chamberlain on the slopes of Little Round Top, just before you view the fields of honor beneath you from its summit. All of our guides are officially licensed by the National Park Service. So don't get a sore neck trying to see out of your car, and saddle up with Gettys Bike Tours for a 360-degree view of America's most important piece of real estate. Gettys Bike Tours. Think outside the bus. Go to gettysbike.com or call 717-752-7752 to book a battlefield experience you will never forget.
You've heard us promote various ways that you can help us keep the show going, but one way we haven't pushed too much is our sutlery at addressinggettysburg.com/shop. That's a shame because we have designs over there by talented artists like Ty DeWitt of 1863 Designs and Mike Stretch of the Heritage Depot. So now we're promoting it. Buying shirts, hoodies, mugs, and other items from our sutlery not only helps us keep the lights on, but it also helps guys like Ty and Mike, and it helps spread the word about the show every time you wear an item or you sip from your mug. So head over to addressinggettysburg.com/shop and grab some merch. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the Gettys nerd in your family. That's addressinggettysburg.com/shop.
Have you noticed our revamped website at addressinggettysburg.com? Well, that's the fine work of a man named Mike Stretch, and he also redid our logo for us. Both of them I originally designed, and both of them were originally horrible, but now they're nice, and that's all thanks to Mike. Mike has an awesome t-shirt company called Heritage Depot. There you'll find great designs based on Gettysburg and the Civil War with t-shirts and other types of merchandise. So go to heritage-depot.com and spruce up your Gettys Nerd wardrobe. That's heritage-depot.com. Our favorite bookstore in Gettysburg is For the Historian, located at 42 York Street. It's because they have the best selection of Civil War books in Gettysburg, both new and used. And online, they have even more to choose from. And if the Civil War isn't your thing, that's not a problem. This is For the Historian, after all. They cover history from the ancient world to the 21st century with a strong selection of World War II and American Revolution books. It's astounding how many thousands of titles from Osprey, Savas Beatty, UNC Press, and more they have in their store. And that's because, well, they have a warehouse too. And that's where they keep all the books that are available online at forthehistorian.com. And folks, if you go to forthehistorian.com now and order books until you're blue in the face, be sure you mention that you heard about them on Addressing Gettysburg in the Note to Seller box, and they will refund your shipping costs. And if you prefer to stop by when you're in town, well, you could do that too. Just mention Addressing Gettysburg at checkout, and they'll take 20% off the retail price of your item. So go to forthehistorian.com or stop by 42 York Street, or you can call them at 717-685-5207. That's forthehistorian.com or 717-685-5207.
You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
Over 1 million total downloads and counting. You're back with AG Today.
Turn your damn phone down, Beth.
I didn't know it was doing anything. Is it off now? I can't hear.
Yeah, it's off. Jesus. Did you know it was on?
No.
Oh. Yeah, well, that was, you were listening to the show there. We have a listener who is very eager to get on the show today, so we somehow got him on. We don't have the phone lines up, but I gave him my personal number, the hotline, if you will. Mitchell, you're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for taking my call, Matt. I appreciate it.
Of course, sir. What's going on with you? You got a great story, apparently.
Yeah, it's a good. I think it's a good story.
Mm-hmm.
So I was up last weekend. Had the family, did the whole Gettysburg experience. Super excited. Went to the Adams County Historical Museum, and I had the pleasure to see 6 Questions Lentz there. He took the time, shook my hand. I got a picture with him. So, I'm trying to explain to not the kids, but my wife, these superstars of Gettysburg. I'm like, there's Tim Smith, there's Gary Alderman, I've got...
Alderman.
Alderman.
It's pronounced Adelman.
Adelman, sure.
A little more chutzpah and a little Jewish.
Let's be honest, it's close enough. So,
Gary A.
Yeah, Gary A. So, and so I'm trying to explain to who these people are, and she's not impressed. And lo and behold, I see Tim Smith. I'm like, my goodness, he's like the president of Gettysburg, at
Bullshit.
This museum. So I walk up to him, and he unexcitedly at least took a picture with me. So we get through the rest of the museum. Museum's great. Thank you for recommending it. Anybody out there, please go see it. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
So
cool.
we get to the end, and my wife is like, "Hey, there's your buddy Tim. He's trying to get a Snickers bar," and we're watching Tim, and he's looking at the Snickers bar. There's nobody at the concession stand. He's obviously frustrated, and he kind of looks at me and my wife, and I'm scared to say anything to the man. I don't know what to say.
Oh my gosh!
So I see him walk over to the front, and we watched him walk off with a Snickers bar from his own museum. And my wife turns to me and she's like, "So this is what you wanted me to see? Is an old man steal a Snickers bar from his own museum?" So
cool.
I was like, "No, I think he's okay here. I'm sure he'll pay him back." But, I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Bullshit.
Oh man, you're starting a fight with Tim now.
Yeah. So I look forward to the stump.
You witnessed Tim stealing from his own museum, is what you're saying.
That is correct, and I have a witness.
That's the raid on Biglerville Road out there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, all right, that was a good story. Thank you, Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Marshall.
Let's be fair.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, thank you guys. Enjoy tonight. Thank you very much, Matt. You'll take care.
Yeah, and by the way, Mitchell, thanks for coming to town and not stopping and saying hi to me. All right, I'm glad. I'm glad you got to see Tim steal a Snickers bar.
You're a big celebrity, and me and Cameron hung out, so that was
You hung out with Whoa.
What are you doing?
Hold
Mitchell,
on.
hang up.
You hung out. You hung out with Cam?
No. I wish we could have hung out.
All right.
You getting a sandwich at a shop at the Jiffy Lube was pretty good.
The Jiffy Lube.
Bonfire. There's a swamp dragon.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling in and enlightening us with that story.
Shit.
No worries.
All right, Mitchell, take care of yourself. All right, bye-bye. All right, well, look, we don't have Veronica here for the news, but Bethany does have some events.
This weekend, where the action is.
What's there to do and see when you're in town this weekend? Here's Valerie, Veronica, to fill you in.
It's all covered.
All right, Valerie, what have we got here?
Well, I do have one tidbit of news. Tonight at the Civil War Roundtable, they're voting in 2 new board members.
Oh.
Jamie Umstad.
Oh, our friend Jamie.
From the Children's Museum, love her.
Yeah.
And Ted Hurt, who is
we know
literally on
Ted
the board of
too. Yes,
everything.
very nice.
I always make fun of him that he's on every board.
Cool.
In this entire town. So I just wanted to congratulations to them. They will be there at the meeting tonight to receive their laurels.
Very good, very good.
Now events.
Okay.
Something you're gonna play or no?
Oh, that was the event song. Oh, that was news that you did? I'm sorry. Oh, well.
You doing news or events first?
She's a gal who knows what's going on, so take notes. There's a test at the end. Here's AG Today's lead anchor, Veronica Brestensky, with news, traffic, weather, sidewalk conditions, and what's happening this weekend.
I must have all possible information.
So, So that was the news, right?
That was the news.
And now you're on to events.
This weekend, where the action is.
What's there to do and see when you're in town this weekend? Here's Valerie, Veronica, to fill you in.
It's all covered.
All right.
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
ahead. I just love the
gonna
jingles.
Go down through my list. They're in no particular order.
Go ahead.
Although I do work for the Gettysburg Foundation, so there's.
All right, move through them quickly, though, because we've got to get our seats for the Jim Hessler event. Go ahead.
The National Park at the Eisenhower is running their Bark Ranger program on the 30th.
Clever.
From 2 to 4 is the main thing, but this will be ongoing, similar to their junior ranger program, that you can go there with your dog, do a mini junior ranger thing that's like at the dog's view, and then get a dog tag for your dog.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that not the coolest thing?
That is cool. That is very cool. In fact,
Super cute.
Cool. Yeah, there it is.
All right, now the Gettysburg Foundation. Sorry, guys. The at COG, aka the Children's Museum, we are having a book sale of used Civil War titles from 10 to 2 around back. Things as hardcovers, $5. Paperbacks, $3. So
just children's books or any?
No. These are adult Civil War books that have been donated to the foundation over time, and we're just becoming inundated. So we're
When is that? I got to mark it down
That's
on my
from
calendar.
10 to 2 on Saturday.
Okay.
At the Children's Museum, which is at 451 Baltimore Street, behind the Children's Museum. Okay.
All right. Very good.
The
Go
Children's
ahead.
Museum will also be running a pop-up history, talking about hair jewelry. I'm so excited. Yeah, talking about hair jewelry and showing the kids what that was all about. And that's from 10 to noon and then 1 to 3. Also at the Children's Museum on the front porch. The train station, the Ticket to the Past, will be having its anniversary. It's been open 1 year as of the 29th on Saturday.
She's got a ticket to the past.
Okay. And so that will be that will be open. We'll have living historians on there, people talking about the history of the train station, as well as a commemorative ticket that you can get as part of the. So tickets are online. You can buy them to go through that experience.
That was years ago.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
Cameron, that's coming up.
Coming up this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the Historical Society, they are running 2 programs at 1 o'clock, both on the 29th and on the 30th. On the 29th, it's called Debris of Battle at 1 p.m., and then Caught in the Crossfire on the 30th at 1 p.m. I could not find a ticket price. Abby, I hope I'm not leading people astray, but it looks like it's kind of a come and see type of situation. But if there is a ticket, Abby will kill me later.
Well, why don't you do you have their number?
No, because my phone.
Okay, well, it's just, you know what? Listen, people know how to use the Google machine.
Yeah, use
So
Google. Look it up.
Google it. You get their phone number, give them a call, find out details about it. Do you need to get a ticket or
These are some
not?
of their new programs that they're going to be running, and I definitely recommend because they've worked really hard on all of
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Also, this is the opening weekend of the Farmers Market at their new location at the Rec Park.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They'll be open from 8 to 1 on the 29th.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
So definitely go out there for some good food.
Yes. Oh, food and other things that people make with their hands.
Yes.
You can get. You could get food to eat there.
Yeah.
Hot food, but you could also get healthy fruits and fruits and vegetables. It's too early for that.
Yeah.
It's like flowers and stuff at this point, I think, and meats.
Yeah, but just go out and support them in their new location.
Absolutely.
Because that'll make them all feel
You
really good.
hit the nail on the head.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
I also want to point out that the Gettysburg Festival of Races, their fitness expo is going to be happening down at the Eisenhower Hotel. So be prepared when you're driving around to see a lot of people running. So just be careful when you're driving.
That's interesting.
Yeah, watch where you're going. There's a couple races going on. You can still sign up for those races if you want to do it. But if you Google the Gettysburg Festival of Races, that stuff's on there.
So just to be clear, because she has allergies, Festival of Races. Not racists.
No,
Right,
races.
okay. Just
Sorry,
wanted to
I have
make
a
sure.
cold.
That's why I said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, now wait a minute.
No,
Okay.
Veronica, don't worry. It's okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You told me to go fast.
Yeah, I know.
And then just because this is near and dear to my heart, I'm giving a shout out to the Gettysburg Children's Choir is going to be performing on the 30th at 4 p.m. It's free at the Lutheran Seminary.
All right.
So come out and see them perform.
Are you the leader?
No, I just think it's adorable.
It is adorable. All right. All right. Well, that's about it for us, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to the Hessler event at ACHS tonight, we will see you there. If you're not going, why not? But yeah, that's it. Have a good one. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Addressing Gettysburg Today is hosted and produced by Matt Callery and Veronica Brestensky, Esquire. Engineered by Colby Sumner and maybe, sometimes, someone else. Guests of the show stay wherever they want. That's not our concern. To be a guest on the show, send an email to matt@addressinggettysburg.com. Addressing Gettysburg Today broadcasts from the Gettys Bike Tour studios. To get a 15% discount on your next tour with Gettys Bike, call 717-752-7752. I'm Huevos Grande, the voice of Addressing Gettysburg Today. Thanks for listening.
Grabbed the bolt and hurt my neck.
Plan don't get it done.
Your swearing sounds so elegant. I got hairy legs.
And that's what I believe is where I'm standing.
True internet stomach depression. For people that bad, it can't fair.
This concludes our broadcast.